Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Danny, the host of Redbeard Plays. Hope you all are doing amazing today. Today we've got quite an in-depth video to get into in terms of Battlefield 6 and our discussion of the upcoming update. That'll be out tomorrow or likely today if you're watching this on Tuesday, November the 18th. My goal is to get this out tonight on the 17th to just kind of discuss what we're expecting with this update. And then here in a few days, hopefully I'll have some time to play and see how this new update feels. So before we get into that though, guys, I do just want to take a moment and kind of give you guys a little introduction here to our Discord community server here. So if you guys have not joined this yet, make sure you go down in the description, check that out. There will be a link. If you are a content creator, if you love Battlefield, if you're looking for a new community to connect with other Battlefield people or first-person shooter fans, here's a good place to do it. So when you join our server, first and foremost, you will not be able to see any of these chat rooms. Big thing is you're going to be able to pretty much exclusively see the announcements and the rules and roles and maybe the meet the mods. Big thing though, check this place out. Give yourself the roles of the things that you're interested in and gain access to these community chat rooms where you can connect with other content creators as well as just other community members that love Battlefield. I do have a section for Black Ops 7, but I don't really foresee myself playing a lot of Black Ops 7, maybe later on down the road in the future, but we've got a little section here where you guys can post threads, forums, and discuss Battlefield and other games, and then of course a general discussion forum as well. So feel free to check that out if that's something that seems interesting to you. Without further ado, guys, we're going to get right into discussing what's going on with tomorrow's update of Battlefield 6. So tomorrow, looking here at the Steam page, we've got the Battlefield 6 game update. It's the 1.1.2.0 update, or we can just call it the Tuesday, November 18th update that's coming tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be coming at 9 a.m. UTC time, so it'll be whenever I'm at work. So that's why I'm making this update to kind of discuss what we're going to be expecting. And I am going to give you guys just kind of a general rundown before we even get into really diving into the specifics. So I made an announcement in my community server a little while ago about kind of what we're expecting with the update of Battlefield 6 throughout Season 1. So there's going to be 3 major updates. So update 1 that we got on October 28th gave us a new map, Blackwell Fields, Strike Point, which was a new mode. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't even tried it yet. I've been absolutely obsessed with Conquest in this game. I have played a little bit of Red Sec, but we're going to talk about that a little bit today as well. And then we got some new guns, new attachments, new vehicles. So overall, I think the first part of Season 1's update was pretty good on October 28th. That one was called Rogue Ops. What we're getting tomorrow on November 18th, just a little bit over a month after the release of the game, is the California Resistance update. We're getting a new map. It's called Eastwood. It looks pretty interesting. It looks like a nice balance between urban and mountainous, so it looks like there's going to be some natural cover coinciding with buildings. We're going to get a limited time mode called Sabotage, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out on our next live stream. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Hang out. Again, if you're a subscriber over on Twitch and you want to play, a lot of the times, I would say probably about 90% of the time, I'm open to playing with my subscribers on Twitch, unless I'm playing with like my cousins on the weekends or something like that. That's kind of our time where we're playing together, because we've been waiting to reconnect with some Battlefield. So, but furthermore, we're going to get a battle pickup, which is a new feature. I'm assuming that this is a feature kind of is seeming like maybe a little throwback from like some of the older Battlefield games, like Battlefield 3. There were specialty weapons that you could pick up throughout the match that were like overpowered weapons. And once you were killed, you dropped it. You had to find that thing, find the weapon and pick it up again in order to use it. And it had limited ammo. It wasn't like an infinite ammo thing. So That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, just based off this graphic. And then we've got a new shotgun, a new sidearm, and a new attachment, and then it says "and more." So we're going to kind of delve into what we can be expecting with this update. Now, I do want to give a quick synopsis of overall my feelings and my thoughts of the October 28th update following the release of Battlefield 6, because I gave my initial thoughts on the launch of Battlefield 6, and I stand by pretty much everything that I talked about in that video, and that video was called "We Need to Talk About Battlefield 6." So I think what's really wonderful about Battlefield 6 is the community is really banded together and maintained a lot of stability. We're seeing player numbers of over 200,000 players consistently across the board, regularly, every single day. And that's amazing considering the game's been out for a month. As far as Call of Duty, and there's always been that rivalry of Battlefield and stuff, I'm proud to say I'm a battle dad. There's been a lot of shade towards people that have been criticizing Black Ops 7 and the release structure of it, the multiplayer, as well as the campaign. I have a lot of thoughts on that as well, but this video is not about that. A lot of people that have constructive criticism criticism of Call of Duty this year seem to be like lumped into this group of people that are being called battle dads. And I guess I'm proud to say I'm a battle dad because I'm excited to be playing a game where the developers have kind of licked their wounds and got up and made the adjustments around feedback from the community. I think that's really important, and I see a lot of that happening with this release of Battlefield. So, you guys can say whatever you want, you can rip on it, but I do want to talk about a topic that was heavily discussed, and I promise we're going to get to the update stuff soon. So if you don't want to talk about, the premium stuff, the store, I will say down in the description, I should have timestamps where you guys can skip around. If you want to just go to the update stuff, I'll have that marked so you can just jump right to that, because I do suspect this is going to be a little bit of a section or a little bit of a discussion. And if you guys have ever watched my videos, I like just having discussions about whatever crosses my mind while I'm recording. But one thing that I have said for years when it comes to first-person shooters, one of these comments that I got on my last video about we need to talk about Battlefield 6, one of these comments that I received was talking about skins and camos and the vibrant blue and the vibrant lime, and people being upset about that, and it's not grounded in reality, and Battlefield is known for being grounded in reality, etc., etc. I do agree with it to a varying degree. I'm on board. However, these developers, these companies that make these games, and then they do free content updates after you give them 60 or 70 bucks, they have to make money to fund further content for the game to release it for free. And I've been saying this for years. You can look at old videos where I've talked about battle passes or season passes or seasonal releases. I've talked about it in streams. I've talked about it hanging out in Discord when we've talked about, updates and stuff like that, and the stupid $30 skins in the Activision Treyarch stores for Call of Duty and stuff. And I'll say it here. Because game manufacturers, publishers, developers, all of these people that make these decisions moved away from a season pass where you pay $50 when you buy the game. So you pay $110, $120, $100, whatever, because they moved away from that. They have to fund the release of the game and the free content. And people say, well, they can afford it. They're multi-billion-dollar companies. Well, it was the same back then. The difference is, I feel like to this day, season passes and premium editions were a higher value, for example, on Battlefield 4. When you bought Battlefield 4, if you bought premium, you got a new drop every quarter. You got at least 4 new maps. You got XP boost drops, the battle token drops, and there'd be like a briefcase, and you'd get XP and like attachments and camos and stuff that were like exclusive to that season. And it lasted all year. It'd be once a quarter for an entire year. And then Battlefield 4 was so popular. And if you weren't around for it, you just don't understand. The community was stronger than it's ever been. I don't think I've seen Battlefield's community as strong as it is now since probably Battlefield 4. Because Battlefield 4's community was so strong and supportive of that game that they released content after the premium content was all completely done. They did night maps, community night maps. They did throwbacks to Battlefield 3 maps, all kinds of stuff. And really, Battlefield 6 has the potential to do that again. The thing is, the community has to stay rallied behind it. And I'm not suggesting that we do that. I'm just saying that is the type of like grind and like push that the Battlefield 4 community had over a decade ago now at this point, 13 years ago. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. So I guess what I'm getting at is you can't be surprised whenever there's skins and camos and things that are a little bit absurd to justify charging 10 or 15 bucks for them. As long as they don't get as ridiculous. I'm not defending the Nicki Minaj camos. I'm not defending the Beavis and Butthead stuff that Black Ops 6 did. I'm not saying any of that needs to come in the Battlefield. I'm just saying, if you want free content, it's got to be funded somewhere. So I'm not in agreement that those types of things need to be in the game, the absurd skins and stuff. But what I am saying, I'm not shocked when it happens eventually. And I don't want it to happen with Battlefield 6, and I hope that the developers and the backing company, publisher EA, will listen to their fan base and not do that type of thing. But I will say, as a community, like a member of the Battlefield community, we do not need to be surprised if it happens, unfortunately. We do need to hold them accountable and not spend our money on it. I will say that. So hopefully, like, that's kind of like a sound opinion or a sound take, but I absolutely do not wish that happens. But until we go back to a purchasable season pass where it's like for the entire year. But the thing is, these companies make billions of dollars on microtransactions because people spend, myself included, spend $10, $20 on a cool looking skin. So we're all guilty of it, I think, at some point. There may be some people that have never spent a dime on that, and guess what? I'm jealous of that because embarrassingly enough, I've spent plenty of money on microtransactions. Now, as far as though Battlefield 6, the October 18th update, I'm definitely not going to wait so long to make our next little discussion on the update for tomorrow. I just wanted to give myself a month to further discuss further experience Battlefield 6 before I really talked about how I feel, right? How I feel about Battlefield 6 altogether. So I do want to just show you guys. I have basically 90 hours on Battlefield 6. I know those are rookie numbers compared to some people. I have a lot going on in my personal life. If you you've watched videos and stuff, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time going on that, but I have a lot going on. So for me, 89.2 hours is a lot of playtime that I have. And it's definitely enough playtime to determine how I feel about Battlefield 6. So Battlefield 6 for me is a game that I've waited a very, very long time for. It would be easy to say I've waited a decade for this game. And what I mean by that is the way that the game plays, the way the game feels, the fluidity of movement mixed in with gunplay. I still despise slide canceling, and I'm very upset that they put that in this game, but I also have to be a sound of mind person and understand I'm in the Battle Dad category, and I'm at work for 40 hours a week, and this is what I do on the weekend to unwind. I'm not 18 or 19 in college with nothing going on anymore, where I go to class and then I sit in my dorm room all weekend and drink Mountain Dew and eat Slim Jims and play Battlefield for 48 hours straight. I don't get to experience this game like that anymore. That time is sailed. And so I understand they're trying to market the game and approach the idea of bringing in a newer, younger audience into this IP to build upon it. So it sucks to be on the receiving end of somebody that's basically a Call of Duty slide canceling king. But that's just kind of the way video games have been moving for a long time. However, I will praise the developers because they toned it down significantly since the beta. So the beta was really intense. They toned it down when the game released, and I think they did one more update and toned it down just slightly. So the movement feels really good. The mantling feels really good. I still am running into this bloom issue. It's not as bad as it was. They did do a quick fix release, and it did improve. I did tweak some of my settings on stream last night for the AMD frame generation, and it took me from getting about 120 frames to about 240. So does that actually help? I don't know. I only played for like an hour after I turned that on. The game felt really good, but that might be something, if you're running an AMD machine like I am, that's something that you could try. If you're having that issue, it seemed to help. Also, I want to say, for the battle dads like myself that work a lot, you have a family, you have things you have to do, there's a new mode called Casual Breakout, and it's a mixture of players and bots. And you know what? You guys can say or like hate on it however much you want, but I think it's a great place when you've not played the game all week or for a few days and you're just trying to get warmed up and kind of get everything, the juices flowing and getting warmed up for the night. It's a good way to go. I play 1 or 2 matches of it, and then I just hop in the standard conquest, and it feels really good. Then of course this new mode that they're adding, or that they did add, I did not get a chance to really play it. I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm a traditional Battlefield guy. I really just care about conquest. But they added that strike point mode, and I've seen it pop up a few times. And I will be like totally transparent and say, like, I did not even try it one time. So I can't really give any input on that. I did unlock the new weapons, and they are great. They feel really good. They feel balanced. They're fun to use. And I'm very excited to kind of see, as time progresses throughout the life cycle of this game, how many new guns they're going to add, because there were quite a few guns at launch, but as we know from the history of Battlefield, typically these games, they add a lot of firearms to them, especially if they're going to ride the coattails of Battlefield 4's success with this game. That's kind of what I'm hoping and striving to see that they do going into further release of Battlefield 6 content. Now, couple of criticisms that I have from my time of playing of almost 90 hours. Biggest one being the bloom issue. It's getting better, and I'm trying to be very patient, because as time has gone on in the past with Battlefield 4, I know I keep comparing a lot of this, my feedback, my thoughts, to Battlefield 4, but honestly, I haven't put as much time into a Battlefield game since that release. So, and if you were around back then playing Battlefield, you know that launch was disastrous. The game ran like trash. The servers had major problems, and it didn't matter what platform you were on. If you're on console, a buddy of mine had it on PlayStation 4, and it bricked his PS4. I didn't have any problems. I got very lucky with it on PlayStation 4. I played it at launch, no issues. I played it on PS3, no issues. But I had a buddy that bricked his PS4 with it, and then I heard several people had major problems with it on PC when it first released. And then as the game went on with updates, it became one of the best first-person shooters of all time. So I have a lot of faith in this team working on this. Now, that's probably my biggest criticism, is the bloom. My other big criticism is, and it's not even the game's fault, it is more of part of the community. There seems to be a section of this community that doesn't realize when you are playing Battlefield, and this is just a general broad statement that I'm making for whoever sees this. Whenever you pick a class, you have to play the game to that class. It's not like Call of Duty. You're not this super soldier that is gonna get 85 kills in a match, 120 kills in a match, and win the game for the squad. You can get 300 kills in a game and still lose. It is the point system and the way Conquest works with vehicles and things like that. It's all about controlling objectives and bleeding tickets. And if you're not playing to your class that you pick and using those abilities for the class, the truth is you need to just play Assault. You don't need to be a medic. You don't need to be anything else. You just need to play Assault, and another person in the squad needs to be your medic, your engineer, and things like that. And I'm even calling myself out, because sometimes I'll pick engineer and then I'm not repairing vehicles and things like that as much as I should be. So my big saying on stream is tank go boom. I like to make tanks blow up. That's my favorite thing. And I love just on the occasion being able to RPG a helicopter. This is one of the most satisfying things. And I still tweak out like I would have 10 years ago on Battlefield 4 doing it for the first time. It's just the most satisfying thing that you can do. Now, with the update that added, what is it called? With the update that added Blackwell fields. So this is probably the last thing I'm going to talk about with the October 28th update, because overall I have nothing but great things to say about our first update from Season 1. I think it improved the experience overall. Every time me and friends played it, it's always been fun. There are times it'll bring out rage mode because you're really invested and you're just getting smoked. And there's nothing you can do to compete, and it can be very frustrating. And that just comes down to a skill issue, as they would say. But for me, the Blackwell Fields map that they added in Season 1, that map, it's a beautiful map, first and foremost, from a design, like a visual design perspective. It is one of the best looking maps in this game, hands down. It is gorgeous. And the fact that the oil wells and the piping and everything, I've never worked in the oil field, so I don't know what all these like parts are called, but I seen a video. Basically, this dude, he takes out a sledgehammer and he walks up to the piping coming from the oil drill, and he bashes it once or twice, and it breaks the line, and oil is spraying out. And he takes his engineer tool and he's blowtorching. He's blowtorching. God. He's blowtorching the oil, and it catches on fire, and then it just starts spraying fire out of the oil drill line. And to me, that attention to detail in the map design, it completely changes the experience for an infantry player. And that kind of like veers us into good and bad feedback I have on that map, because the map is beautiful. There's a lot of natural cover and things like that. And probably my biggest complaint about that map is that there are times, and I was talking about this on my stream yesterday, not every time, and it really comes down to, is your team playing to their role that they select? And that's the big key. If you're on a team where they are not playing their role, you don't have counter snipers, you don't have engineers putting landmines down, you don't have people playing vehicles to balance out the other team using vehicles to push, etc., etc., the map feels very open and very overwhelming. And I've always been an infantry player. I've always played engineer. That's my favorite class. If you look at my stats, it's like an hour of assault, an hour of sniping, maybe like 3 to 5 hours of being a medic, and then it's just like straight across like an engineer. So it's like pretty much all I play. And so, you know, my thing is when I'm playing that map, landmine, landmine, landmine on all the main roads that go into the objective. If you've played Battlefield 6 or watched it, you know how powerful landmines are. They're a very valuable tool. And there's just times though where that map feels way too open and difficult to navigate. And I know that's like the point. It's supposed to be more of a vehicle intensive map, but there's just times where it can be one of the most frustrating maps to play on. But I do want to give the developers and the designers of that map a huge compliment on the level design, like the visual design of that map, because it's definitely hands down one of the most beautiful maps. And for me, I would probably rate that map maybe like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. For me personally, it's not one that if you laid out all the maps and said, which one do you want to play? I probably wouldn't pick that one first, but I do think it's a great map. And I really think it was a good addition to the lineup of the maps here. But it's definitely a love-hate thing. Now, one more thing that we'll talk about for a brief moment. I know I haven't spent a lot of time talking about RedSec. So I was thinking about making a totally separate video on RedSec. It's one that it's a BR. I don't really have much to say about it. I don't want to call it. A lot of people online I see compare it to Warzone, and I'll shoot it straight. I haven't played Warzone since Modern Warfare 2019. Probably since all the hackers like took that over before they even created Ricochet and put it into Modern Warfare 2019. The hacking in those types of games really ruined my desire to put a lot of time into those games. I'm an old school BR guy. I used to play back in H1Z1. And I used to play in PUBG days. And I used to put a lot of time into PUBG, a lot. That's actually whenever I was getting into content creation and I built my first PC. That was the first game that I bought for that computer. And that was the first game that I religiously streamed. As far as Battlefield RedSec goes, though, I would argue to say that RedSec is a great battle royale. I played Firestorm whenever that was out on PlayStation. When Battlefield 5 was out, I played it on PlayStation 4, and I played it a couple times on PC, but mostly on PlayStation 4. And I still, to this day, think the biggest mistake that was made with Firestorm was it was not free to play, and I said that back then. I think RedSec is a great opportunity to get into Battlefield. I think overall it feels good. I think it's smooth. There's some really funny moments that I've even had happen in RedSec playing it with friends and fellow content creators. I've only gotten one win just because I've literally played the game. I think I've played RedSec 2 times. And I don't really have a good or a bad opinion on it. I think if you like it, cool. If you don't, cool. Play the multiplayer. I buy FPSs these days to play multiplayer. Again, a little bit of a battle dad take, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Okay, so here we are. The part of the video that you guys probably came to watch, and that is our Battlefield 6 game update of 1.1.2.0. And that's basically a really big title for an update. That's just more or less the Season 1 Part 2 update for November 18th. So if you guys are watching this, it's probably already out. But a lot of people, myself included, I don't normally, at least when I was more just like coming home from work and playing a game, didn't take the time to read through and discuss what the update was focused on. So I already kind of mentioned what we're getting. So the people that were just wanting to see, hey, this is what are we getting? So we're getting a new map. It's themed around Southern California. It's called Eastwood. It says on here, variations of this map will be available for all official modes. So if you are not aware of like the official modes, but it's basically Conquest, Breakthrough, Rush, Team Deathmatch, Squad Deathmatch, and a few others. So those are like the main 5. Now, what's interesting here is they specify conquest mode. So this is something that's kind of standing out to me personally. It says conquest mode on this map will include tanks, helicopters, and the golf cart, which I find it funny that they are drawing an emphasis on the fact that the golf cart is going to be on this map. I just find that funny. Because you can drive it around in Red Sec, and it's honestly one of the most entertaining, funniest parts about that mode. Getting 4 guys, you know, a guy driving it, guy in the passenger, and 2 guys sitting on the back of a golf cart, all geared out, military. It's pretty funny. But that's interesting because it makes me wonder if the other modes are not going to contain vehicles at all. And I say that because I didn't really talk about it, but on this other map, Blackwell Fields, one of the maps for squad deathmatch did have a tank, and I do recall a lot of people giving a lot of negative feedback on, like, hey, why would you have a mode that's like team deathmatch but then have a Bradley that people can drive around and just, like, you know, because a lot of people do their gun challenges and things like that, but I think the idea was to give engineers like a reason to play as an engineer. I think that's kind of like what they were trying to achieve. So it didn't really bother me because, again, tank go boom. So I'm interested to see if they're going to allow like any kind of vehicles in any of the other modes, and maybe they're just drawing an emphasis on conquest because it is going to be such a larger map. Now, it does, again, that limited time mode, sabotage. Here's a little info about that. A themed event mode focused on demolition and counterplay. So I'm kind of curious to know if that's going to be basically like a fancy version of Rush. You got 1 or 2 bomb sites, and the goal is to blow it up. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting off that, just that description. And then we got our new weapons that we've already discussed: the DB12 shotgun, the M357 trait sidearm, which looked like a revolver. Gauntlet mode to include a new mission type, Rodeo. The mission provides multiple vehicles for players to fight over and battle with each other. Players earn bonus points for defeating enemies while in a vehicle. Okay, so they're trying to, this mode Rodeo, they're trying to promote vehicle play, is what it seems like. They're going to do some updates to Portal. Sandbox map. This option will let Portal experience builders start a more level playing field to bring their imagination to life. So you can get a lot more creative with the Portal mode. And I do want to say something. I'm going to say it like this. EA, I'm trying to figure a way out to contact you directly so I can get my account fixed. I'm having issues logging in to the actual website, and you guys used to have a live chat option before this game released. After the beta, it's gone. So if anybody out there in the chat or the comments or whoever has a way that I can contact EA, please tell me down below, because I'm going insane. I want to start a Portal server so you guys have a space to hang out, because that's kind of what we're working towards. There's a lot of people that play and they just session join on me, and it would be really cool if I could just make a server and we all just fill a server over time. I think that would be super cool. So, but I'm not paying for Battlefield Premium Pro until I can utilize that. So if anybody knows how I can actually get a hold of EA, put it down below. Or if there's an EA person that watches this, please reach out. That would be great. Let's see. Golf cart vehicle is going to be available. Battle Pass, California Resistance bonus path becomes available for a limited time. New underbarrel attachment, so slim hand stock, unlocked via challenge. They're going to be adding a new feature later in the update, battle pickups. These powerful weapons will be available in specific experiences and Portal with limited ammunition, but pack enough firepower to help turn the tide of battle in your favor. So that is actually That's actually what I was saying when it came to Battlefield 3 and the power weapons there. So they're just basically carrying that forward into this Battlefield experience, which honestly, I think is a good call. And some people may not like that or agree with that take, but I actually think it's a really cool feature that was in Battlefield 3. It got carried over into Battlefield 4, and I thought it was cool. And then I don't remember if it was in the others. I do think Battlefield 1, you could get like the LMG and the flamethrower and stuff like that, but I don't remember that being carried really much further in the newer Battlefield games. But let's get into the actual fixes. I think the big things that people are excited to hear about are things like aim assist and stuff, because there's been a lot of discussion around that since this game came out in beta. So major updates for 1.1.2.0. Aim assist has been reset to its open beta tuning, restoring consistent infantry targeting behavior across all input types. Improved input latency and stick response for controllers, providing smoother aiming and more responsive soldier movement. Now, it's hard for me to give an input or opinion on that. I don't play with a controller. I play mouse and keyboard, but I feel like they're trying to give people on console or that play with a controller a little bit more opportunity to compete with the guys that play mouse and keyboard. Weapon accuracy and dispersion tuning, fixed unintended weapon dispersion, increased rates, and improved non-recon sniper rifle accuracy while globally reducing dispersion across all weapon types. Okay. Challenge and progression clarity improvements make requirements easier to understand and track. Major polish pass to deployable gadgets, including the LWCMS portable mortar, the LTLM2 portable laser designator, and supply crate system. I've been seeing a lot of things about the portable mortar that it's like useless or something. I haven't unlocked it because I don't really play as a support class a lot right now. That's something I'll be grinding for later. But I've seen some of my buddies use it and they seem to get a lot of kills and support points for it, but maybe they're just hitting more dead on accurate than other people. I'm not really sure. I don't have an opinion there on that. Fort Linden added to Portal, expanding available segments for community created experiences, so a little bit of a Portal tweak. And areas of improvement. Big things I would say here is probably the aim assist. As we got closer to launch, we revisited aim assist tuning based on internal testing and the full range of maps and combat distances coming with release. Our goal was to make aim assist feel more effective beyond mid-range fights, which was one of our focuses within Battlefield Labs and the open beta. At launch, we increased slowdown at longer ranges, but once the game went live, we saw that this made high zoom aiming feel less smooth and harder to control. I could see that being an issue. After reviewing player feedback and gameplay data, we're reverting aim assist back to the value some of you experienced during the open beta and Battlefield Labs. This will now serve as the default while still providing you with the ability to alter the aim assist to your preference and playstyle via settings. This change keeps aim slowdown consistent across all ranges, helping with muscle memory and providing a steadier, more reliable feel as we move into future seasons. So basically, they're rolling back the way aim assist works. And I did not get to play the Battlefield Labs because of what I mentioned about not being able to log in to the website, so I couldn't properly submit an application for that. So I didn't get to experience that, but I have some friends that did, and they all have mentioned that the game felt different when it came to aim assist from when they played it during like basically a closed beta state. So I'm sure that they'll be happy to know that. I'm curious what you guys think about that got to play that as well. So there's more delve into the change log. If you guys want to pause it and just kind of scroll through, I'll scroll really quickly. I'll turn my camera off and scroll very slowly, and I'll leave it on the screen so you guys can pause and read, because it's a lot.
Hard one when it came to bullet drop, and Battlefield 1 had the sweet spot mechanic, which made it challenging until you figured out the sweet spot of the gun you were using. So you were like required to learn your gun.
No, I can see that actually. I kind of agree, because I feel like video games like recently have just gotten easier to make people like want to play them more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, like I think people have oh, there's a vehicle. Oh,
Yeah.
there was a vehicle. There's a sniper sitting down the. But yeah, I mean, anymore, I think you're right. I don't really think most AAA games are about the player experience as far as the core fan. It's about keeping you on the game as long as they possibly can.
Yeah, I think that's why when like skill-based matchmaking was like at probably its strongest, you would like get a good game and then a bad game and then like a competitive game, a really good game. It was just enough to like try to keep you on.
Yeah, kind of keep you like almost addicted, like feeling.
Yeah.
Like hooked. So I'm about to do a total D-bag move because they have those vehicles that they can run through here. I'm literally throwing landmines right here.
Dude, there was one game I was trying to learn how to like fly planes and stuff, and there was someone like spawn camping with like an AA gun. I was like, this is absurd. I'm just trying to figure this out.
So for me personally, I think this is going to be a good update. I've been really enjoying Battlefield 6. I do, like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, I think there's some things that just need to be further tweaked, but overall, I think it's been a great experience. I'm continuing to be very excited about the release of this game. It's really all I can think about playing right now. And it's really weird. It's the first game in many years that's a first-person shooter that I felt passionate about and really enjoyed discussing content and updates and maps and level design and everything around. So, but I won't drag this video out anymore. There's just so much to talk about. And again, if you guys enjoy these types of videos, like let me know by liking the video, share it around, comment in the down below, and input on the discussion. If you guys want to connect and join the Discord, make sure you do that. Like I said, give yourself those roles, connect in parts of the Discord that apply to you. I think it would be a really cool place for people to connect, share their content, their clips of their gameplay, link up to play Battlefield. And once we get my whole login situation fixed with EA again, I plan on getting a portal going, and I would absolutely love to have a good, strong, solid community for people to like play with and connect with. So if you guys are interested in that, like I said, join the Discord server. It's a cool place. But yeah, subscribe, like the video, dislike it if you didn't like it, and we'll see you guys. If you're not already following me over on Twitch, head on over there. I might be live as of around the time you watch this. I'm probably going to stream a little bit more this week just so I can get into the new update, see how it feels, and then maybe get us a video kind of with my thoughts and feelings on it by the end of this week. So anyways, hope to see you guys over there in that chat. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and I hope you enjoy the Battlefield 6 November 18th update, aka the Battlefield 6 game update 1.1.2.0. All right, we'll see you guys next time.